Xenophobia. Why does this word sound made up? But apparently it's not. It sounds like the fear of Xena, the warrior princess. That's the first thing I thought of. My stupid self. But let's see if this gentleman right here can explain it to me.
Xenophobia is the term that is used against South Africans. Whenever South Africans, they can see the nonsense that is caused by foreigners who are here, we are called xenophobic. And when South Africans are complaining, they are told that they are xenophobic. We cannot be blackmailed by terms like xenophobic. If you check the groups, like human rights groups, most of them, they've been infiltrated by the foreigners themselves who are advocating that South Africans, they must relax their borders. They must allow people here to come into this country. People who've messed up their own countries when they were liberated.
Can't recall the name of that gentleman, but apparently he's a representative in South Africa, and he's talking about the migration of immigrants from Nigeria to South Africa and messing things up down there. And they are basically being pushed back to accept these criminals, as he says and they're being shamed by being called xenophobic. So it looks like that's how America is also using the word xenophobia as well, but it seems like apparently trying to become or remain strong is considered insensitive to a marginalized group and their feelings. Now, xenophobia in its original terms mean the hatred or prejudice of a people from a particular country. This word, which has been around, like I said, I didn't know about it, but apparently it's been around for a while. However, it has not been used a lot until the late 90s, until the height, which is in 2001, which I believe would have been due to 9/11. After those attacks, happened in America, then the word came back into popularity when former President Donald Trump had enacted harsher laws in regards to the borders. Because anytime Trump said or did something, there had to be some type of hate behind it. But once you look past the ad hominem attacks and name calling between politicians, xenophobia is a natural fear to have. If something is foreign and unknown, then the natural reaction is to have your guards up, to prepare for any type of surprises. When a person is so open to the unknown, things they don't know about, whether it's harmful or not, that's quite irrational, and dare I say stupid. That's why this word, surfaced a lot lately, because a lot of these politicians think they think the public at large are stupid. And for what I've seen online, I honestly cannot, disagree with them.
What's 3 times 3 times 3?
12.
36? Yes. Can you name 3 countries besides the USA?
I suck at history. I was like my worst subject. Can we do science?
No. Any three, this.
A country? Oh my jeez, this is terrible. Oh my god. A country. Wait, besides the US?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Wow, that's clown world. That is so clown world, man. So playing on our society's lack of knowledge, our emotions can easily be triggered. For us to accept something that in the long run is not good for us. And in this case would have been globalism. So whenever I hear politicians mention the word xenophobia, all they're trying to do, at least in America, is bring down America's nationalism through professing a form of racism against immigrants. And you have to realize reducing nationalism, that eventually leads to the safety of the citizens being reduced. We as a people, especially as black folks, we have to stop applying the narrow lens of racism or some form of hate to many issues. Otherwise we won't see the various intricacies around us. We end up inhibiting ourselves from progressing because we keep applying the wrong tool of racism as a tool against something that's going to hurt us back. I mean, think about it. Xenophobia is just another type of shaming language to use against people that inhabit a particular area, who do not want to open up their borders indiscriminately to outside forces. This shaming language is a tool for us to basically accept open borders, when in fact, borders are actually necessary to prevent, slavery, sex trafficking, drug trade, organ trafficking, low-cost labor, basically free market trades with other countries. and reduce any type of levels of human exploitation. Now, the current immigration issue we're facing now is the extension of Title 42, which was enacted by the Trump administration. Is basically to put a halt on immigration due to back then the coronavirus. It's to where the border patrol can expel people from the country quicker than the previous immigration title or immigration law, which was Title 8. But of course, the ones that are, hard to expel are, like I said, refugees from asylum countries like Haiti, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and so on. So when these refugees migrate across the border to bordering states like Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, and even California, the state governors and legislators are put in a bind because, Border Patrol is under the federal jurisdiction, not state. So when these governors are called xenophobes, I can understand why they play political football by sending the refugees to northern states and cities like DC, New York, Chicago, and even Martha's Vineyard. What they're doing is just pointing out the hypocrisy in the politicians on the other side of the aisle. Basically, if the federal government, regardless of what party occupies the executive branch as president or the Congress and or Senate, federal government would just apply the necessary border and immigration laws, then a lot of people's lives would not be so negatively affected. So, like I said earlier, don't allow yourself to be easily ashamed with the xenophobia, label. Do your research, which gives you knowledge and the confidence to refute these illogical viewpoints. And another shaming language that doesn't need much research, but just basic common sense, and is applied as a phobia, which I don't understand why, because basically, I guess so, is to get people to accept something that in the long run is against their best interest, is fat phobia. Now, that is something pretty much everyone should have and be okay with. And if you don't know why, I explain it here.